Recording, and we're good to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, and take it away, Rodney.
Good morning, everybody. Rise and grind. We are here. We are live. It is early in the morning. And this is what Rise and Grind is all about. The number one morning radio show in the
Wait, whoa,
world,
whoa, whoa.
as far as I'm
We're not a
concerned.
radio show. We're a webcast.
Well, yeah, you're right.
We're a
You're right.
webcast that is technologically savvy enough to be brought to people through cell phone applications. Big shout outs to Twitch. Yeah.
Well, we're number
That's
one.
it.
That's
I mean,
for
no
sure.
matter what media that we're on, Rodney, whether it's
We're number one.
podcasting, we're webcasting, we're number one. We got some good things coming for the morning show. We're just working on some things. We're not going to tell you exactly what we got, but we got some things coming for you. But today we got a hot show. It's a morning show. It's the first Rise and Grind. So just let you guys know a little bit about it. It's, quick 30-minute show. Talk about a couple issues. What's going around here in the world or whatever that we find, and we want to kind of blast about this morning before we get up and out the door. So. That's Rise and Grind in a nutshell. We're going to invite some people on. We're going to invite some friends on, some guests on. But all the time, man, it's what's grinding, man. We might call and get somebody on that's at work this morning that's been working since 5:30. So we're gonna catch them up early. But man, we got some hotness today. We're gonna talk about a state trooper that got shot by his child. A very interesting story. We're gonna get to a little bit later.
And I'm going to get into a little bit of a story that kind of caught my attention about the topic of reparations and how that leads to the 2020 election, because we have our own candidate that we're supporting for 2020. We're doing the write-in candidate, Mr. Omar Lusk, for president 2020. And if it looks like I'm in a hotel, it's because I actually am in a hotel currently. I'm in Manhattan, New York, downtown, where it's cold. And the hotel rooms are always cold in New York because they don't like to run the heat for whatever reason.
Time out.
Like we do in Texas. And
why?
So I got my hoodie on and all that good stuff.
Why would you not want to run some heat when you're in the cold city of New York?
New York, that's just how it is. Luckily, I got a hotel with heat.
I was going to say, you in a hotel, you should be able to turn the heat on when you want.
Well, heating and air conditioning in New York is very optional. So when you book a hotel, make sure you book a hotel where you have the option of heating and the option of air conditioning. Luckily, I've been in this hotel several times.
Yes.
So I chose wisely.
You know exactly what to do.
I chose very wisely.
You know exactly what to do. Hey, did you hear, dog? This came in this morning that the producers and some of the cast members of Empire. Sorry, my dog is throwing stuff around the house this morning. The producers and show cast members of Empire are really afraid that the Jussie Smollett stuff is going to bring the show down. Like, what's your opinion about that?
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, why would it not bring the show down? Okay, you have one of your main characters is using his sexual orientation, his blackness, to try to cause attention to himself and run a false police report, and now you get charged with felonies.
Yeah,
which that's the amount of charges he has. I'm shocked.
It's 16.
You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of charges.
16 felonious, disturbing the peace charges, Rodney. I didn't know disturbing the peace could get up to a felonious level.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but he's got 16 of them boys, which means he's ripe for a rap career right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if he's gonna make a next move, that's probably a good direction to go into. But it's gonna change the show a lot. You're gonna have a lot of people that will stop watching it.
Oh yeah.
But controversy and is great publicity at the same time. So I think you'd be surprised how people would still watch the show.
Oh.
Even though they're coming down to the final episodes, people are still gonna watch to see, well, how do they get this character off? What's gonna hurt them the most, and for people that I know you know this, but some people don't know, when you do a sitcom like that, your real money comes from
Yeah.
syndication.
Oh yeah.
After you have 5 seasons, you're able to syndicate the show. That's why we used to watch, Happy Days growing up, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love Lucy.
Good Times growing up, even though it didn't come on when we were
Nah,
young.
yeah, we enjoyed that. The Jeffersons.
Because of syndication. So what's going to happen is you're not going to have the syndication that you could have had now that this guy has done what he's done, especially if he does time and more stuff comes out. I don't know how you go back and kind of just totally erase someone out of a show, although it's been done before. There's been shows where they've, completely erased the character for syndication. So
like they did in Dallas and make it a total dream sequence. Yeah, the whole.
That's what's going to hurt the most.
Whole first 6 seasons was a dream sequence.
Right.
Right. Now the final season. I mean, look, I'm giving ideas out there, LA. If y'all use my ideas, at least fly me out there for a vacay in LA. But make it a whole dream session, like the whole first 18 seasons or whatever it was like all a dream session, and then at the end of it, or when it starts for this semester, I said semester, Lord, this season being the final season can be like the actual show, the realness, and all this was just a dream, and like he doesn't exist. It's actually right back in the beginning of when Empire first started, and all this was just a dream that Lucius had laying in the bed with Cookie. That's how they could spin that bad boy. I'm just trying to help him out there, Rodney. Yeah,
you're doing good. I mean, there's going to be some more money involved if they decide to do that, because they're going to have to reshoot some scenes and come up with some different plot lines. So it could all work out.
Who shot JR? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Who shot JR?
And one more hotness. Did you see your boy Conor McGregor in the news again?
Man, I heard about this morning. Something happened in Miami, right?
Yep. So he basically grabbed somebody's phone, threw it on the ground, and MMA stomped that bad boy in Miami shortly after 5 a.m. So, in Miami, he's coming out of the club, and he's gonna want to see the homies. He's gonna want to talk to the homies. He's gonna want to, get some stuff done. And of course, you got all kinds of people who are outside of a club. You're Conor McGregor, for crying out loud. So dude wants to come take a picture with him, and he's like, "Hey, Conor McGregor," and he's just like, "Give me this shit." And I'm not gonna say a fight ensued afterwards, because you don't really ensue a fight with Conor McGregor, over a cell phone. You're gonna get paid, but yeah, he's under arrest right now and held on $12,500 of bail, man. So what do you do with this guy? What do you do with the bad boy of MMA? Like, he's bringing ratings, Rodney, but he's also kind of giving the sport like just a little bad rep on the side of being outside of the octagon.
It's interesting you mentioned the story, and I'm gonna tell you, to me, after this whole Jussie Smollett deal, I look at every incident like this with a little bit different eyes. Okay, Number one, there's no reason for him to do that. Period. I mean, he's paid, he's got money, he's got fame, but the one thing that he has to do to stay getting paid is create this bad boy image, right? He's got to always maintain this edge of, what's Conor McGregor going to do? Is he going to throw chairs at a bus? Is he going to take someone's phone and stomp on it, right? Other than that, there's really no reason to do it. You got money, and you're going to come off a lot more money by doing it. You can't be that dumb. Man, I guess you could be.
Look,
but I see it as, I'm doing this. I know it's going to be a big deal. I know I'm going to get whatever. They're going to sue me, whatever the case, but I got to keep my bad boy image. I got to stay Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I got to stay turned up on 10, 100, all the time. But I bet he didn't realize, I bet he wasn't expecting to go to jail.
Nah. He probably thought he was going to stomp old boy's phone and, pitch a fit, like a WWE fit. I'm Conor McGregor, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, TMZ would catch it, and then he'd give old boy the money for the phone. It's probably an iPhone or some jazz like that. and he'd be done with it. But Miami's finest said, "No, sir, Mr. McGregor.
No, sir."
After that Robert Kraft came down here trying to make Florida look bad, we can't have that. Can't have that happening at all. So yeah, that's
Florida's a crazy place,
is, bro. So that's a little bit of just a couple things that just popped up this morning that I want to make sure we got our mitts on, dog. But yeah, Conor McGregor, I look at you as like you think you're in the wrong sport. You're in got the WWE mindset with the MMA octagon circle. So you need to talk to your boy, make sure this is exactly the route y'all want to go. If so, like let's put some people through some tables in between matches and stuff. Let's.
And you know what's gonna happen? Watching the next coming weeks, there will be some type of fight announced or something. Yeah. I guarantee you, this is some kind of way to get him in the news on the front page again, so he can try to secure the next fight. I'm sure that's part of it.
He's gonna fight a kangaroo. I saw it.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
Peter gonna be mad.
Be surprised, man.
Oh man, so what you got? But man, you had some. Let's hit LeBron news right quick.
Yeah, man. So those that we haven't done the show in a while, but I've been really following this LeBron thing quite a bit. For the first time in his 16 seasons, I wouldn't say the first time, but the first time in a long time, he's going to miss the playoffs after going to the finals, however many straight times in the East. 8, I think, or whatever the case may be. He's going to miss the play. He's going to miss the playoffs for the first time. And although he passed Jordan last week and everything, everyone's kind of like talking about, should they trade LeBron? Has this hurt his legacy by not making the playoffs? My thing is with LeBron, and I've always been very critical of him on the court because I feel like at his size, he should be more dominant of a player. Yeah. He's a passer first, but at the same time, I'm struggling with, where do I place LeBron at now? In terms of just, ranking him with other players, because in my opinion, I think LeBron is going to be more than just a basketball player. Yeah. I think if we try to I think he understands and realizes that he's never going to be able to be the guy for basketball. He's not going to replace the logo. He's not going to beat out Michael Jordan. It's just not going to happen, right? But I think what he can do is really take this more than an athlete theme that he's created last year and use that to kind of build his legacy in a different way than any other player has. You talk about Jordan. Jordan had influence on the culture, right? Yeah. He influenced everything: sneakers, the way we dressed, the way we practice basketball. Everything. He influenced the entire culture. That's why you can't really replace what Jordan did, period. But what LeBron could do is he's influenced the athletes in a way that Jordan was not able to do. The fact that he has created this whole sense of, I don't care if I got a contract with you or not, hey, I'm going to play who I want to play with. I'm going to play where I want to play. I don't care where I got drafted at. None of that. He's changed that completely. You see guys like Kawhi Leonard sit out a whole season with the Spurs, all right, and then leave the Spurs, go play a year in Toronto, even though he still wants to play in LA, right? Yep. Because it's just the way things go. You see a guy like Anthony Davis, basically coming out with 2 years left in his contract saying, look here, I want to be traded, and it is what it is. And that team went to a playoff last year and won a round last year with that team. So he has created this sense of power and the power shift from the ownership to the players that I think that no other athlete has really been able to do. So when you talk about LeBron's legacy, I just want people to start really thinking about beyond just the sport of basketball, what he's been able to do. I've never seen a guy, come into the league at 18 after high school, don't hire an agent, use his homeboys. They learn it on the fly as their own. They win championships. And now even when he's playing, it's still the guy in basketball. He's doing movies. He's creating TV shows. He's exposing kind of the conversations we have in a barbershop, which is I always been kind of like, hey, this is our place to talk, but now
Mhm.
he's putting it out to everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not
And
really like a barbershop chat. It's like
it's not really,
it's
yeah, it's true.
just
You don't sip wine in the
not at
barbershop.
all,
Let's keep it
not at
real.
all. Nobody's gonna
You don't do all
nobody's
that in the
gonna do that in the
barbershop.
barbershop.
And you don't let nobody cut your hair. You don't
That
know. It's just
who is
it's just the bottom
who
line.
hired this dude?
Yeah,
Okay,
you don't do
okay.
that.
So nobody's hired him. Nobody know who this guy is, and we
Yeah,
just gonna let him come. Okay, that's how you end up like this. You know what
right.
I'm
Yeah,
saying?
edge me up.
Got bad faded up. But look, I want to touch on one, just a couple things about that. First of all, let's talk about the LeBron trade option. Of
Yeah,
I've had a guy at work was like, man, why are they talking about trading LeBron? Why are they talking about trading LeBron? They just got LeBron, put people in the seats. It's like, well, you have to remember, LeBron is a great basketball player, but basketball is a 5-man sport on the court, 5 for each team, and so the best teams that LeBron has been with, he's had another impact player to play with him. Like he's trying to get Anthony Davis or he's trying to get a Kawhi Leonard. Like that's the only piece he needs. That's why he's going to miss the playoffs this year. On the young squad that he had, he's got some role players, but you don't have that other impact player. You don't have that Kyrie Irving. You don't have that Dwayne Wade. You don't have that Shaq.
yeah,
You got to have that Scottie Pippen to accent that Michael Jordan. And then to roll into another thing, like you were talking about LeBron's legacy versus Jordan, like, no, LeBron's never going to get a chance to be the icon that Michael Jordan has, because Michael Jordan has been an icon, bro, since we were kids. He's been an icon
yeah.
since '95. Like it's
Right.
kids right now that go to the league and be like, man, Michael Jordan was like what I looked up to. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant.
I mean, LeBron said
Yeah,
that.
I mean, he said it literally when he passed Jordan that Michael Jordan was my everything growing up. But you said it. Michael Jordan created a culture. He created the sneakerhead culture. As much as people might want to say,
Yeah.
oh, it was like, bro, without Jordans coming through, we were still rocking
Right.
shell toes, some Air Max. We might not have Hirachis. We might not have Vapor Max. We might not have LeBrons, KDs. None of these might go down. So Jordan did shape culture and shoes like over a legacy time. But I think LeBron has an opportunity to be close to that because, like you said, he's shaping things that are actually shaping things for the players on the court, but off the court as well. He's doing things with his money. He's doing things with his social influence that I've never seen athletes do before this day and age right now, which I think is like the most positive thing. I think it's the best thing that athletes could do, bro. Like, you are completely influential on a society that's based on social media and what I got to do, what Kylie says. I got to go buy, the new KDs. I got to check out and see this, that, and the other. But he's using that influence, like you said, to change the game, to put players in more control. And I think, bro, we are, as a country, trending towards a new way of thinking and moving into things. Like, yeah, you're an owner, but you're not a master. People don't come here to see Jerry Jones play football. Although there are a lot of people that would love to see him go up against Ndamukong Suh one time with the rock in his hand. But, they come to see LeBron James. They come to see Kobe Bryant. They come to see Emmitt Smith. They come to see Dez Bryant. Anybody. That's who the athletes come to see, and that's why you need me. But I want to be on certain teams, and I want to play and do certain things. You can make that call. You're LeBron James. You're one of the best players in the NBA, probably the world right now. So if you don't want me on your team, it's not like an Antonio Brown situation. He's a good guy. So yeah, I think the only problem that LeBron has right now is LA has to be able to afford the right impact player to get him in there. And as for legacy, you'll never be who's the logo guy? Jerry Bussey?
Jerry West.
Wrong one. But it's kids.
It was the Lakers.
The Lakers as well. There are people right now, Rodney, that still believe that guy on the NBA logo is Michael Jordan.
I know.
So, I mean, LeBron has a chance to be the logo. It depends on how long he plays, but I think he's just not going to get out of the shadow of Michael Jordan. Like the New York Knicks still have not gotten out of the shadow of Michael Jordan.
It's interesting you say that. I know why people. I know it's crazy, when people say, should they trade LeBron? you just doesn't even sound right saying that trading LeBron, right? But what I think everyone has to realize that LeBron is a big figure, but he's not bigger than the Lakers.
No.
Lakers have 16 titles. Okay, you go inside the Staples Center, there are some of the greatest of the greats hanging in the rafters in the Lakers. Okay,
Yeah.
LeBron is big, but he's not bigger than the Los Angeles Lakers.
No.
I think that's why people are like that. They would trade him, or the case may be. It's not going to happen. I can just tell you that. There's no way Magic is going to trade
No.
LeBron.
Bro, you
Period.
can't.
This is something that they have decided because LeBron wants to own a team, and he came to the one place where he's going to have enough, influence and can build up enough cash
Mm-hmm.
and learn from Magic in order to one day buy a team. And that's the goal for LeBron is to buy a team. Just like Jordan's goal was to buy a team. And if you want to talk about the power of the two, I thought Jordan was a great player, but the only reason he ended up leaving the Bulls was because they told him they didn't want him to come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't have enough power to stay with the Bulls. He had to finish his season with the Wizards. Michael Jordan didn't have enough power to stay with the Chicago Bulls. It didn't sound right.
No, that sounds flawed, bro.
Chicago Bulls are Magic Jordan.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
So,
100%, bro. Like just like if you think LA Lakers, you think Magic Johnson. You think Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan. Like, unless you're from Chicago and you say name a Chicago Bull, people are still gonna say Michael Jordan. Like, they don't know who plays for Chicago. Like, I don't know who plays for Chicago right now.
Exactly.
No clue.
Exactly.
I have no clue. Jersey's still clean, but I have no clue who plays for him.
Yeah, even he had to finish with the Wizards. So, I just think, just to kind of wrap it up, I think that LeBron is, I think he's doing something bigger than just basketball. I think people should really wait and see kind of what all he does before they try to put him in a place with somebody, because I think he's transitioning basketball and doing some things that other players have not done and changing the culture in a different way. So don't just write him off because he's missing one playoff. Remember, Jordan took 2 years off of basketball. Okay,
the baseball thing,
and in between his titles. So everybody needs to break. The guy's played more games than anybody in 16 years. So
he's
what it is.
Entertained us, so he's ready for retirement. Might as well while you're still healthy and can move around and hell, make your money work.
Yeah, no doubt. My other thing on Rise and Grind that I want to kind of discuss real quick that's on my mind, and this ties directly into your presidential candidacy. Last time we had interviewed you for the first presidential debate, first presidential interview.
Yes.
One of the things I didn't bring up that I should have brought up, and this has been a hot topic among a lot of people, and that is the topic of reparations for Black folk. Okay, I guess first of all, just to kind of describe what reparations are, what we mean. Okay, we're not talking about affirmative action here. Okay, we're not talking about helping get kids in college type of thing. Okay, we're not talking about that. We're not. Mass incarceration is a big deal. We know we need to change the laws on mass incarceration. But when I'm talking about reparations, I'm talking about cash.
Money.
Okay, I'm talking about property. I'm talking about the 40 acres and a mule that we were promised that the country reneged on after the Civil War. So anyway, to put it just bluntly, first of all, let me find out from you, candidate for 2020. How do you feel about the topic of reparations?
Well, I think on the basic sense of what reparations are, I do believe that something should be distributed out to certain people across the country, for, shall we say, hardships and work that they did to build the foundation of this country. Like, we were an agricultural country for a long time, Rodney. A lot of things that we shipped out were things like cotton and tobacco and hemp. Back in the day, a lot of people weren't aware that the United States was a huge hemp producer. And if people don't know what hemp is, it's marijuana. As some of my friends say, marijuana is what it is. We were a big producer of that, which is a really good source of agricultural revenue on many scales across the land. I mean, they make really good ropes, great lotions, things like that. Go hemp. But yeah, I do think that there should be some type of reparations paid out to descendants of those people that lived in America at the end of the Civil War.
I'm glad you stop right there for 1 second. You touched on something that's right, scorching hot. Okay, yes. I think we both agree reparations are needed. Okay, 100%. We get that part. And for those that don't agree with us, hey, there is a precedent. Okay, every other group that's been shitted on by the country has gotten reparations. The Native Americans did. The Japanese did when we locked them up during the World War. I mean, everybody's gotten reparations, okay, except for us, okay? But when you said certain group of people, that's where we as Black folk have to have an internal debate amongst ourselves, okay? Because this ADOS, okay, if you guys don't know about that, look up hashtag ADOS. This is becoming a real thing. It's American Descendants of Slavery.
Oh yeah,
okay.
It's a new race now.
So we're kind of like separating Black people into those that descended from slaves to those that may have come over after that, those that may be Caribbean, those that may be mixed with different, nationalities. Now, is this truly how we should be thinking, or is this like a Russian robot or a Russian social media
back
campaign
on Facebook on us
to try to divide us in some kind of way? Because hey, that's how they did it in 2016.
See, look, we got some of you houses don't deserve reparations, is what they like. Whoa, who is this that's saying that? Like, you can't be calling us fields and houses. Like, we got to get beyond that as a culture, as Black people. But I do think that, on a serious note, when you are a candidate for the presidency, you have to think about this question with King Solomon like wisdom. There's going to be some people that are going to be upset when these reparations come down because they're going to feel like they deserve reparations. But I think how I ended that last statement, people who were here can be genetically traced that actually came from colonies, slaves, like properties of the United States. If Puerto Rico was down with us back then and there was people picking sugarcane in Puerto Rico, that's fine. But, just because you're Black, just because you look like you're Black, you could have come here in 1942, That necessarily doesn't mean that you're a descendant of slaves. That means that your mom and them got here in 1942. You missed out on it. If we cut the line at 41, you just missed out on it. But I think there has to be, when you're talking about allocating the type of money that the United States government is going to have to allocate, and it's not really going to be as much as people think, because you're not going to pay, if you're a descendant of what was considered a slave, and that goes back 5 generations or more, and 3 of those generations had 20 kids in them, they're not going to pay you reparations for each one of those kids. You're getting reparations for that person those 2 people that you've descended from. So now the problem comes, if we're giving $20 million or $2 million per soul that was affected by this, that's $4 million that's going to have to be split probably amongst 250 to 300 Black people. Which we all know, if you've got family that, has had to sign an oil lease before, that might be an impossibility to split $4 million amongst 200 people. So the thing is, there has to become a system. There has to be money spent on the U.S. government. I'm going to go ahead and coin it in big shout outs to the first president that got this done. You're going to have a New Deal Part 2, Rodney. Okay, you're going to have to come into this country and make sweeping changes. You're going to have to spend money in America. We're going to have to rebuild infrastructures. We're going to have to rebuild train tracks, roads, schools. There's no sense that you drive to work every day on a bridge that's rated a C or below, and we're spending $25 billion or $25 million, whatever the hell he wants to spend, on a wall and you could literally fall into a creek driving to work today because they don't have the money to spend $150,000 or $1,000,000 on a bridge to save Americans' lives every day. Like I said, the problem here is that the American government is due for an overhaul. It's due for what do they call it in Pokemon when they level up to a new form? Like the United States government needs to change. It needs to be rebuilt from the bottom up. So first thing we're gonna do, spend money, get all the offices fixed. We're gonna what's going on, Canucks? Shout outs to Canada checking us out. I like Canada. We got to get up there. But anyway, we're going to get it all fixed up. We're going to get the taxes fixed up. We're going to spend money, give people jobs in the government, and we're going to figure this thing out. We're going to get some genealogy going. We're going to trace down these people. We're going to, as black people in this country, we're going to finally know where you guys came from. We're going to put some history to the whole thing. Is like, because let's just be real about it. Some of us didn't just jump off of a ship. Some of us are actually, and I'll just put my hand here because, some of us are actually Native Americans that have just been pulled into the black community because we look a certain way, or we were Native American and we married a black woman. A lot of people don't realize this, but sometimes some Native American tribes took in freed slaves that had nowhere to go, and they became members of, I'm going to say full-fledged members of the tribe, but the kids became members of the tribe. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Native Americans, for helping people out. But yeah, Rodney, something has to be done. But like I said, it comes from the overhaul of the government. It's not just going to come from like Dave Chappelle, which was a funny skit, United States government just handing out $5 million to every black person in America, which I do think would, build the economy really quickly.
Well, let me ask you this: if there had to be a check cut for reparations, how much you think that check would be? I mean, back then we were promised 40 acres and a mule. I mean, should we just get a check? Should we get land, or a combination of the two? I think we should get both. I think we should get a check and get land. Now, of course, everybody's going to do what they want with the check, but there are going to be a few smart people that do the right thing with the check, I think.
So you want to know how much I think that let's just say it, how much each person that we find out is a descendant of slave labor in this country gets. Canuck said 5 million. That's a lot. You know what? I would say 2 million apiece.
2 million apiece.
2 million for everybody. Now you have to be. There's going to be certain criteria. You got to be over 18. You can't be 15 getting $2 million apiece. And I think you have to be able to prove, which we're going to do our due diligence as the new United States government, to make sure that we're getting this money into the hands of the right people. And those that have, disagreements about that, they can file a report in the office, which is going to be funded by the United States government, which, if the government has to do all these new programs, Rodney, and unemployment's going down. So I think reparations is a good deal. I think it can actually fix the country. $2 million in the hands of every black person. Some of us are not very wise with our money, so it might go right back to the government, like you said.
Yeah. The other thing I've heard that was interesting to me was to make it some type of tax deduction. Like you actually check a box on your tax return that says ADOS, you know what I'm saying? And you get a look, maybe, 10,000 a year, 15,000 a year, some type of tax deduction or something, that, we get something every year, top of, instead of getting one check. I thought that was like, that's an interesting
It's not a bad take right there, dog. Like because I don't get many things. I'm single, no kids, and I don't get to file for my dog, which I'm gonna fix that too, American people. If you have an animal, have a pet, you'll be able to file them on your taxes as a dependent because you pay rent and you got to take them to the doctor, and Blue Buffalo is expensive dog food. But not a tax. That's very interesting. See, these are the kind of conversations we got to have about this kind of situation, because we can actually get it all taken care of. We just got to make sure it's done the right way. So yeah, we can do it.
Yeah,
we can do it. I think it should happen, dog. Like you said, a lot of people have gotten reparations from the United States, and since they print that,
every group has. Every group's got reparations, but us.
Everybody.
You know, every group,
Everybody,
every group has got reparations.
everybody.
Even the Jewish people that suffered through the Holocaust got reparations from Germany.
Look, I wasn't gonna bring
You
them
know,
up, but you did.
everyone's got reparations but us. And I think people don't understand, the people that say, well, we don't need reparations, don't truly understand what slavery has done to
Now,
us.
interesting fact. I'm gonna put this out there because we got a shout out from Canada. Didn't know this. First Nation people get tax cuts and free education in Canada. So kind of like
There
here
you
in
go.
the U.S., you know, they get free education in
Right.
certain cities and tax cuts. So that's a good thing. I like that. Shout outs Canucks. Big shout outs to Canada this morning.
But getting it right.
You know what I'm saying? Look, we need to take. Look, I, as your upcoming president of the United States, would like to take many trips to our neighbors in the north because I think they've got a lot of things going right.
They got a lot of things figured out, man.
They're doing it right up there in Canada. They're not perfect, but nobody is. But they're doing some good things. Let's open up that border. Let's open up the Mexico. We don't need a wall. We just need an efficient way of getting people back and forth across the border. That's all we need. Check some passports.
And let's all be honest, guys. Do we really own this? This land is for everybody.
Yes.
All right. Do we really have to put a fence around ours? This is ours. Come on.
We
now.
don't.
That's a topic for a whole nother.
That's it.
show.
That's it. We ain't gonna dive too far on the politics, man. Let's just. You get me riled up. I get on my soapbox. You know, I'm passionate about the people of America, Rodney. I'm not passionate about many things, but I'm passionate about the people.
Yeah.
And just what America can do if we work together with the rest of these countries, like our friends to the north and Canada. Big shout outs to Canada. Tell all your U.S. friends to vote Lusk in 2020 for president.
Well, that just about does it for another episode of Rise and
wait a
Grind
minute.
Morning Show.
Wait a minute.
Back tomorrow.
Hold on. Did I tell you about the 11? Did we talk about the 11-year-old that shot his dad?
No.
Let's talk about it real quick. So, in Indiana, there's an 11-year-old kid who basically shot his father with his service revolver. His father was a state trooper. So he's waited for his dad to go to sleep. He's in there asleep with his mom. Dad rolls over, turns his back away from the door. Son shoots him with his service-issued weapon. Dad starts screaming. He's in the bed with his wife. Wife's like, ah. He's like, ah. She gets up. She looks. She sees the service service weapon on the floor. The kid going upstairs with a taser and a BB gun. Right? So she locks the door, calls the police. Now, mind you, Rodney, you in your house. Your child has just shot somebody. You done locked the door and called the police on your 11-year-old, which might not have been a bad idea because you might, what parent really wants to shoot their 11-year-old? So the police come, they get the 11-year-old, take him away in handcuffs. Dad's recovering at the hospital. Of course, this is all under investigation by the local police, FBI, everybody. They interview the son, as you have to do when you arrest someone. And he tells him, he said, I want a PlayStation, I want an Xbox, and a gaming computer. And if I don't get it, there's going to be a part 2.
What? The 11-year-old said that?
He said there's going to be a part 2 if I don't get the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the video game. And he also tested the taser on the family dog before he did the shooting. What do you do with that 11-year-old, Rodney?
Boy got some problems, man. That boy got problems.
He's got to go to jail.
He's got to go to jail, man. I'm sorry.
As a parent, I think you should probably let Damien stay where he is.
You know, as a parent myself, I try to put myself in those footsteps. Every child is different, okay? But if my child has crossed that line, where you shooting us now, if we don't follow direction, we don't follow your direction, you're gonna have to sit in jail for a little while, buddy. Because I can't rehabilitate you at that point. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
If you're gonna shoot me in my own house because I ain't give you a PlayStation, there's nothing more as a parent I can do for you.
Nah.
There's nothing more. I've done everything I can do for you. Now I'm about to put you off on the state now because I can't raise you no more, son. I can't raise you no more.
You can't whoop him, dog. You can't.
Yeah.
I can't raise you. What do you do
more.
in the house? You're like, you know what? I'm gonna whoop your ass. It's like, No, but I agree, man. Canuck says like it's the parents' fault. Definitely at this point, you realize the parents have let something go too far. Whether it's just a lack of discipline, whether it's a mental health issue in that house. This kid is a savage, bro. He is. They want to say he's savage. He's on the level of like he needs to be militarily trained right now because he's like a cyborg or something. Like that boy. This is how it goes into my head. It's like. I don't know. I agree with you, Rodney. Ain't nothing I can do for him. So I was.
Ain't nothing I can do.
No, hell no.
It's when you sit down with your wife and say, "Look, we lost one. Okay, we got two more left.
Good.
All right, but we lost this one. This one gone. He I'm sorry. You got to love him from afar, behind glass.
Yeah, he needs to.
I can't keep him in the house.
That's the little boy. He's smoking with cigarettes. He like I want to do hood rat things with my friends because they're fun.
Right.
And that's what that is. But that is a bigger issue, like you said, man. Like he can be rehabbed. There needs to be some serious, because regardless in America, this case is a pinnacle case. This is a case with this young man. Like he's 11. We need to find out what happened. Talk to those parents. Is he unstable somehow and needs some type of drug rehabilitation? Does he need some type of like this counseling? Like this is a problem that I'm pretty sure goes on a lot more in America than we really realize. Kids just don't have the guts to do it. And now they've seen this report, it might. So I think that we really, as the American public, we need to take things like mental health in this country very, very seriously. So make sure you vote Lusk for president in 2020. That's all I got, man. It's gonna be it's 20 degrees up there in New York right now?
Yes, it's gotten up to, since we've been talking, up to the low 30s, and they just announced that they've made a large drug bust here at the New York airport. So things should be interesting today getting around the city.
Oh yeah, well we got I think I got a boop. There we go, a little weather report. Let's check it out today. See what's going on in Washington D.C. It's random. This is how we do it. We don't even try. We just put the weather map up and we do random. It's 39 degrees. It's cold there. It's going to be 51 degrees today and back close to freezing tonight. And it's 57 here in Texas, in Dallas. So we loving that, man. Hey, great show this morning, man. Big shout outs.
Yeah, man.
Big shout outs to hold on, wait a minute. We got some shout outs to say. Because in Norway, they had the case of the 6-year-olds who murdered another kid, and the public was all for their reintroduction into society. Wow.
Sorry about that.
Oh, and we got a question from Canucks. He said, how are the Knicks doing, my guy?
Well, they're still playing basketball.
He said, look, the Knicks hadn't been.
They're still in the league.
The Knicks hadn't been that good since Michael Jordan was there. But hey, I want to shout out to those of you that tuned in for us, man. Make sure y'all check us out. We'll be back tomorrow morning. We're gonna get it started about 5:30, right, Rodney?
Yeah, about 5:30 tomorrow morning. 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern, and 3:30 Pacific time.
Yeah. And I don't know if there's we got another person checking us out on the chat. I don't know if you're in Norway or not, but if you are, shout outs to Norway. And what time is it over there? And we'll let you know. But we'll be back in the morning, man. We appreciate y'all. Rise and grind with the boy Omie D and Rodney. Y'all have a great morning, afternoon, wherever y'all are.